Well, hello, and welcome to Practical Research First Steps. I'm Dr. Matthews. Now, as we prepare to dive into this course, let me ask you two questions. The first is, which is more valuable to you, your time or your money? Now, think about this for just a moment, because the answer might not be as simple as it seems. You see, in the short term, you might be tempted to select your money. But when you step back and consider the question seriously, you'll realize that you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So if time equals money, then it stands to reason that investing your time well will benefit you just as much, if not more, than investing your money. Now, the second question is a little more telling. Where do you invest your time? Now, don't be confused. This is a course on practical research, but I want you to recognize that the time and money you invest in doing the hard work related to research up front will save you both time and money later on down the road. So I want to encourage you to look towards the future and how your efforts today will benefit you in ways you may not be able to imagine tomorrow. Practical research first steps is all about getting you prepared to start your research or prepare your research proposal. Now, there are basically two ways to do research. In the first method, you can find something that interests you and start looking for information and writing about it. Now, if this is the method you've seen done or perhaps followed yourself, you're in good company. But one of the most common challenges in this approach is finding lots and lots of things that interest you. And then you're wondering where to start. So you just start collecting information in hopes that something will just kind of click for you. This is kind of like winging it. Now, while some have found success with this approach, most do not. They find the process overwhelming, and because they lack focus, they often end up changing their research interest over and over again. The second way is to apply a template, a strategy, or proven process. The challenge is for the method to be flexible enough to invite and celebrate creativity and individuality of thought, while at the same time provide a methodology that strategically builds on the core elements of a research project or proposal. And this is where the question of time and money come into play. With the first method, you will eventually amass sufficient information to get your research project or proposal started. Now, it might take a few days or maybe even a few weeks, but eventually, if you keep at it, you'll get there. Consider, though, how much time and money you might spend on just getting started if it takes you a few days or a few weeks. Now, whether you're hourly or salaried, that could easily reach hundreds of dollars, and think of the time wasted. In the second method, you'd be provided with the guidelines to help you attain and maintain a laser focus on your research project or proposal. Following the steps in the training I prepared will get you to the starting point of your research in less than 24 hours. Now, let me be clear. This training is designed to prepare you for your research, not to do your research. If you're like most people starting a research project for the first time, whether for a college course or as an assignment from your employer or other funding agency, then you probably already spent a lot of time looking for information that shows you how to conduct research. If you've been discouraged with what you found and felt like quitting, again, you're in good company. A few years back, the College of Graduate Schools conducted a study called the PhD Completion Project. They tracked 9,000 doctoral students among 30 institutions from the early 1990s to 2004, and then again with 25 institutions from 2004 to 2007, and then finally 22 institutions from 2007 to 2010. What they found consistently was that there were 6 key factors that influenced whether a student completed their program or not. Chief among them was quitting at the research stage. Now, I'm not suggesting that you're conducting graduate or doctoral level research, although you may be. What the research shows across numerous studies is that challenges associated with research is a key factor that's led to the attrition rates for their students. What I want you to know is that the fact that it is challenging, it isn't unusual, and it shouldn't be unexpected. But challenging doesn't mean impossible. You may find it valuable to know that this training applies to all types of research. You're probably well aware of courses on quantitative or qualitative or mixed methods types of research, as well as a host of other training on research statistics and how to create survey instruments, etc. You might have even found a number of programs or applications aimed at simplifying the research process. And yet, you may still find yourself unsure of precisely where to start or how it all fits together. If that's you, then look at this course as preparing you for research before you start your research. Something else I think is kind of essential for you to know is that there is to have a basic understanding of the standard chapters associated with almost all research. You're probably already aware of these, but I want to cover them just in case you're not. The first three elements of your research proposal are Chapter 1, the introduction. Now, in this introduction is where you will explore the history, maybe the background, and the significance of your research and the potential impact on your field. There's a few other elements that go into Chapter 1's introduction, but that'll cover the basics. In Chapter 2, you'll find that as the literature review in most research. Now, this is where you examine previous work that's been conducted relevant to your research. Hopefully, the work that you've seen will contribute to your hypotheses. Chapter 3 is perhaps one of the most well-known and well-studied chapters. It's the methodology. And here's where you will outline the step-by-step process or procedures you intend to follow in order to identify your target population or recruit your participants into your research or develop and apply instruments, as well as collect and analyze data. Now, after these first three chapters have been completed, the actual research is completed, and then you finish it. Once you've completed those first three steps, completed the research itself, there's usually 2 or 3 more steps that follow, and that would be data collection or data analysis, and of course the findings. Following that, you'd have conclusions and recommendations. But for the purposes of this training, these first 3 elements are enough for you to keep in mind for the rest of this to make sense to you. It's important for you to know that every research project or proposal includes the same 4 basic elements. Now, these elements inform and guide, not direct or prescribe, your research efforts. And whether you're a first-time researcher or a seasoned professional, you'll find these elements absolutely invaluable in getting you started in the right direction, or even more importantly, keeping you aligned with and motivated to complete your research. Let me share those 4 elements with you. First, you need a research topic, one that you can complete in a reasonable time. Even if your topic has been selected for you, a good research topic has some requirements that are simple, but not necessarily easy to attain. Next, you need a research title that's compelling and other people want to read. One of the things I've learned is that the main reason for conducting any kind of research is to inform your field, but you can't inform anyone of anything unless they read what you've written. In this training, I'll show you a step-by-step method I use for getting your research read. Next, you want to have a problem statement related to your research topic that's clear and easy to understand. Essentially, what a problem statement is an issue or a challenge or an item that's relevant to your topic that you're seeking to investigate or examine or explore. Now I'll show you a simple and powerful critical thinking exercise to kind of tease out your problem statement. And then finally, you need a purpose statement. This is something that demonstrates how your research will contribute to the body of knowledge. Now, in some cases, the purpose statement will include policy implications or recruitment or training suggestions, etc. Regardless of your field of study, your research must ultimately provide some contribution if it's to be considered valuable, much like adding another brick to a wall of information. To learn more about the practical research first steps training, scan the QR code or copy and paste the link below. Either will take you to the course itself. As a bonus for watching, I provided free access to the course for the first 5 lucky students. Now this is a promotional code and it's for a limited time only. In order to access it, simply enroll in the course and then add the free access code MyResearchPromo, all one word, in the promo code section. Hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the course room.